Hey guys, good morning, Creator Mom. So the other day I watched the movie Split um, by M. Night Shyamalan. And so the movie is about this guy who is, well, who the world deems as like mentally ill, because he has like 23 personalities. And, well, anyways, there's a psychiatrist. I think she's a psychiatrist. She researches people with this disorder, but she doesn't her observations have led her to believe that really this disorder seems more like a superpower, like that this trauma, whatever trauma the person went through, kind of unlocked, this superpower in the mind to embody different personalities. And it's so powerful, the embodiment of the different personalities and believing in those personalities, that it even produces different physical results in the physical body. So what I think that this movie is saying to us is that I think it's talking about like the power of I am, how they talk about in the manifesting community, that when you want to be something different, you have to assume that you are that person. You have to assume that state of that person. And that, to me, that's what these different personalities represent. They represent the different states that we can take on and assume to be. And that believing and taking on a whole new state is so powerful that it could produce different physical effects in our body. And what does that mean, really? If you really think about it, that means like, oh, in a way, that means that I don't have to necessarily do outer things to produce physical results. In a way, that kind of means that I can use the power of belief to get different results by assuming that I am already that which I want to be or who I want to be. So that's the meaning that I see behind that movie. Then they made another one called Glass, which is like a sequel. And in that movie, they kind of highlight how there's a secret agency that knows that there's people with these superpowers or disorders, right? As they would be seen in psychology as disorders, but or like maybe delusional people who think they're like they have superhuman powers or they're like superheroes. But this agency is hidden behind saying that they're like doctors and they're gonna, you know, help you with your disorder, when really they're an agency that knows that people have these powers, but they're trying to keep it all at bay. And guess how they have decided to do it? The lady who Sarah Paulson plays this role, and she does really great. She's really good at playing like weird characters. So she doesn't want to take the route of like killing them necessarily, not like, oh, let's just kill them all. But she says, let's capture them and let's make them believe that their superpower is really just ordinary. Let's explain it away to them. Like, you know, like for example, the one guy goes, well, if my superpower is just ordinary, the one guy has a 23rd, I think his 23rd or 24th personality is called the Beast. And when he assumes this state, his body actually changes, kind of like the Hulk. You remember the movie Hulk? Except he doesn't get as big as the Hulk, but he seems to get bigger and more veiny, and he kind of looks a little bit different. And he can he was so powerful, he could pull apart steel bars. So he was like, "What about the steel bars?" And she goes, "Those were put in 1800s. They're old. That can be like leveraged and moved with like a wrench." Or so basically the idea is explain their superpowers away, which we do, right? We say, how do we do that in our lives when miracles occur? we say, oh, that would have happened anyway. It's a coincidence. We explain it away. We do this like naturally. We don't even need the help of like secret agencies in order to do this, because the mind will fuck with you like that. But yeah, that's her approach. Let's just make them believe otherwise. Let's make them believe that they're just ordinary. And so that's really significant too, because again, the world may just try to say, no, the spiritual, there's only physical, that's nonsense, all that stuff. It's all in their minds. I don't know. They just explain it away, which, yeah, it kind of is. It is like in our minds, it's the power of belief. So anyways, that's all I want to share. They were pretty good movies, and that's what I feel like they represent and mean to me.